Okay, welcome back to Verbling. Hi, Trang. Hello, hello.
Hi again.
Whew, this is a workout. Okay, it's time for class number 4 of our TOEFL speaking test Blitz. We are going to try questions 5 and 6. In questions 5 and 6, no reading. They are also integrated questions, but there is no reading. It's listening to audio only. And okay, question 5. It's kind of difficult. You will hear another conversation again, just like question 3. However, what you're going to be listening to is some kind of problem, issue. There's something going on. And one person will have a problem. One person will be making suggestions, solutions. Okay, you have to report what this is the problem. This is the man's problem or the woman's problem. This is the man's problem. The woman makes 2 suggestions. She thinks that either he might blah, 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 or her other suggestion is he may want to blah, blah, blah. Ooh, use your modals. He could or he might. And then you have to suggest, in my opinion, I think that he should, whatever you think. But then you have to give reasons. So there is a lot to do in question 5. Okay, there is a lot of information for you to get out there. So do not use the introduction of the problem. Should be as short as you can make it, but clear and concise as you can make it. The challenge in this question is really how to reduce information and get it all into 1 minute, because they're requiring you to do a lot. Question 6, okay, you're listening to a lecture. It's kind of complicated, and the actual question can be a little different. You may have to do some comparison. You're basically just reporting, but it can be confusing. Actually, you know something? Because last time it was a little difficult. We struggled a little with questions 3 and 4. So we will just listen to audios. But first, let's actually do this at least one time, looking at the transcript. Okay, so hang on a second. I hadn't really planned on doing this. Give me half a second to bring up a transcript. And we'll work off the transcript and try the questions 5 and question 6, where we can actually see the information, and then we'll try audio style. Okay, give me half a sec here. Where is it? Practice, speaking, practice, test, teachers. Okay, here we go. Okay. Very good. All right. Question 5. Okay. Listen to a conversation between 2 students. Okay. Who wants to work with me here and do the conversation? Guinea pigs. Volunteers.
I can go.
You can go? Thanks, buddy. Okay, just because I don't want to offend you in any way, I will be the female. Julio.
All right.
All right, so we're going to actually be able to see. Now, of course, in the real test, you would only hear, but just so you can get an idea. All right, let's do it up. Julio, thank you very much for volunteering. Appreciate it. Okay, Julio, go ahead. You are the male.
Hey, Dennis. Hey, Dennis. Are you ready for spring break?
Damn it, my name's Denise.
Okay, sorry, Dennis. Are you ready for spring break?
Okay. You bet I am, Charlie. I'm just not sure where I'll be going yet. My roommates and I have been talking about going to the beach in the Bahama Islands since last spring break, but it isn't exactly cheap, and only Pat and I were able to save up enough money to go. These last few weeks, Bo worked extra shifts at the restaurant, but he still couldn't make enough money. We all feel really bad because we all wanted to go together. I don't think we could go without him.
Well, can you let him borrow some money so that you can all go together?
I think we could do that. If me and Pat both pitched in and lent him some money, he might have enough. But I don't know if he'd want to borrow money from us. He usually doesn't do that.
Well, maybe you just need to find another place to go then. If you already have some money saved up, you should be able to find a closer, cheaper destination for a spring break, right?
I suppose we could, but it really just wouldn't be the same.
You should look around. Maybe you can find a place like the Bahamas, just without the Bahamas price.
Now get ready to answer the question. Okay, narrator. The students discuss two solutions to the woman's problem. Which solution do you prefer and why? Provide examples to support your answer. Okay, so note the main focus is your solution. However, you need to introduce the problem and the solutions. Okay. Oh, I didn't expressly tell anybody to be ready. Faisal,
Yeah, yeah,
are you ready?
uh, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Um, discuss this.
Take a second when you're ready. Faisal?
Okay. Um. I think the better solution is just give it the money because they want to have spending their vacation together, isn't it? So I prefer to just lend her money to him that uh, uh, um, uh, because just having a fun, isn't it? And then the second is uh, if second is uh, uh, just that. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay, all right. Okay. Here's what you got to do. You got to briefly say what the problem is.
Mm.
Okay. Well, there's your time. That was now 60 seconds.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry.
Okay. Briefly, you got to say what the what's the issue. Then, briefly, you're going to spend most of your time actually giving your solution and reasons. However, you've got to give the background. You've got to say the problem is, okay, whatever the problem is. And the woman has two possible solutions. First, she thinks, or I'm sorry, the man has the two solutions, right? The woman has the problem. Okay, it's right there in the actual question. The woman's problem is, okay, the man has two possible solutions. One is to, the second is to, I think he should. Okay. That's basically it. Who else wants to try this? Give it a shot. Okay. Pashal, you just got to know how to organize it. That's the key. Again, 2/3 of your score in TOEFL is organizing it.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else want to try this real quick, or we'll move on? Joseph, Trang, Michael, Julio.
Well, I can go if no one else wants to.
Okay. All right. Sure. Give it a try.
Okay, in the conversation you hear a girl and her friend talking about going on vacation, but not having enough money to go to the Bahamas. The men suggest that maybe they can save a little bit more money just by working extra shifts. And he also suggests that maybe they can find a cheaper place to go. I think the best solution is finding a cheaper place to go. I think they should go to a place that is nearby and it's not that expensive.
Okay. Okay. Now, look, actually, even though you read it with me, Julio, which makes it actually a lot harder, you kind of missed the first one. Actually, the problem is 3 of them want to go, and one of them doesn't have enough
3
money.
of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's been working part-time, but he still doesn't have enough money. Okay. But that is actually, you have to be aware, that is actually kind of extra information you probably just want to exclude. She talks a long time. There's this section here where she talks, Pat and I were able to save enough money to go. The last few weeks, Bo worked extra shifts at the restaurant, but he couldn't make enough money. We feel really bad. Blah, 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 blah. There's a lot of information there, which you really don't need. The essential information is one of them doesn't have enough money. So
so the first solution is lending him money, right?
Lending him money, correct.
Yeah, I missed that one.
Yeah, it's easy to do when you're reading it. I have a very hard time when I'm reading it, trying to concentrate on, the information. Right.
Ironically.
I feel you. Ironically, I feel you. Okay. Do remember that 5 and 6 questions are 20 seconds, 60 seconds speaking time. Okay. That is an example of question 5. All right. Basically, what you need to do. Okay. As I outlined. All right. Let's take a look. We'll look at the actual transcript here. Okay. Let's see, Joseph. You want to try this one?
Okay.
All right. For this task, you will hear a short academic talk. You will hear a question about it. You will then have 20 seconds to prepare your response and 60 seconds to speak. Narrator, listen to a part of a talk in a United States history class. Okay. Here it is. So you can follow along as I read it. Joseph, beep, here I go. The end of the 19th century was known as the Gilded Age in the United States. Every person had the chance to earn a fortune, and those who did celebrated it extravagantly. For example, in New York, the wealthy spent a great deal of time throwing grand parties and visiting the theater and the opera house. The elites spent money in a way that had never been seen before. While they did this, others, the working class, struggled in rags. At the turn of the century, the average national income was a meager $380 a month, and most of the nation's families earned less than $1,200 per year, far below the poverty line. Newly arrived immigrants and Americans who once lived in rural areas rushed to find jobs in urban areas of overcrowded squalor. Cheaply made and poorly run tenements filled the city with crime and filth. While Americans had phonographs, sewing machines, electric lights, and even skyscrapers, most worked and lived in extreme poverty and could not take advantage of these things. In response to the disparity, many laborers in mills, factories, and sweatshops began to express unrest. Violent strikes became commonplace, and many people turned to political machines. During the early 20th century, many politicians helped the poor in exchange for their votes. Corruption began to reach up through high levels of the U.S. government. Some reports even implicated Ulysses S. Grant's administration in political schemes like the gold conspiracy and the salary grab. In response to this, many Europeans expressed shock and felt that despite America's money and factories, the country remained without a sophisticated culture. Okay, now get ready to answer the question. Here is the question. Explain the role poverty played in the development of U.S. culture during the Gilded Age. Use details and examples from the lecture to support your explanation. Ooh. Okay. By the way, before you start, Joseph, it's too long. Yes, it is. Consider the fact that you wouldn't even be able to read it in the real test. You would only hear it. Okay, it is essential to make good notes so that you have something to look at and speak about. Another strategy, you have 20 seconds only to prepare. One strategy, you will see this question. All right, you will be able to see this. Explain the role poverty played in the development of U.S. culture during the Gilded Age. Use details and examples. There's a lot, okay? One strategy is to rephrase this question to yourself in the most simplest possible form. How might you do that? Well, okay. Okay. What was
I think the
poverty like?
I think my problem is that I didn't take notes.
Oh, yeah. This is okay. All right. So reinforcing a point. If you don't take notes, you're not going to be able to answer the question. I don't care if you're a genius. You won't. Okay. So Joseph, do you have any? You have no idea where to start. I'm sensing. Okay. You want to hand this off to somebody else?
Okay.
Okay. Michael or Trang, you want to try this?
I can.
Great. Please, go ahead. All right.
The period from the end of the 19th century in U.S. is called the Gilded Age, and poverty played a very important role in development of the culture in this period. First, from the lecture, you can see that in this period, although the average income is $330 per month, most people living with the income under 1,002 US dollars per year. So because there are many poor people, and they leave rural area to the urban to get job as worker, US become full of crime and theft, and some workers express unrest by violent strikes, and during 20th century, some politicians help poor people to get vote, and the country full of corruption. And
You're out of time. You're out of time.
yes.
But you know what? Great job. That was not bad at all. Not half bad. Okay, Trang did something I really enjoyed. She used the question to answer the question. This is called paraphrasing. This is good. Her first two introductory sentences. Okay. The lecturer speaks about the Gilded Age. Okay, the role of poverty was very important in the development of U.S. culture during this time period. I'm paraphrasing her. I'm not saying exactly what she said, but pretty close. She used the question to answer the question. Beautiful. Nice. Not only that, she was giving very specific details, which totally I never would have. Okay, 1,200 a month, 300 a month, 1,200 a year. Very specific details about how poor the people were. Then, which was even more background information to define poverty. Wow, good strategy. Then she moved on to what actually happened, or the role, which was really the key part of the question. People moved from Trang. People moved from one place to another, from to. They moved from rural areas into the more urban areas, which created filth and crime and Trang pronunciation, violence or violent behavior.
Violent.
Thank you. Very good. She definitely would have been cut off. Really wouldn't have mattered. I'm quite convinced, and actually your pronunciation was a little better, Trang. I think
Yes.
you're trying to be careful about the ends of words, as I spoke to you about before. Okay. Really? If that wasn't a 4, that was really close to it. If you could slow down your speech, it would also eliminate some of your accent problems. You do have a Vietnamese accent. I don't know if you're aware of that. But actually slowing down speech can eliminate that. Your organization, beautiful. A thing to behold. Very, very nice. Nice job. I don't think anyone's going to beat that. So, very nice, Trang. Excellent.
How much time do we have to answer this question? A minute?
1 minute. Yes, 20 seconds preparation time. 1 minute only. Very good strategy. I love that. Using the question to answer the question. Very nice. And then defining terms, also another strategy that she used. I liked it. And wow, clearly she took notes. You took notes, right, Trang? Just say yes.
Yes.
Yes. See? Yes. Good girl. Okay. Way to go. Nice job. Thank you. Okay. Let's now let's make it harder. Okay. Michael, are you ready? We're gonna go back to we're gonna go back to question 5, the dialogue, the conversation. Michael, are you there? Michael, are you here? Are you asleep? Are you having lunch? I think it's lunchtime where he is. All right. Who wants to try this? Fashal, you want to try it again? Jump back on that horse.
Okay.
All right, buddy. Great. Okay. Question 5. Time to listen. All right, here we go.
I listened to a conversation between 2 students. Hey, Mary, how's your volunteer work going? You still involved in that after-school program with the elementary school kids?
Yeah, but I've got a problem. I'm supposed to be driving a bunch of them to the zoo tomorrow.
Yeah?
And I was supposed to rent a van for the trip. but I waited too long to call the rental agency to reserve one, and now it turns out they don't have any vans available for tomorrow. I don't know what to do. These kids will be really disappointed if their trip gets canceled.
Well, doesn't one of your friends here on campus have a car? I mean, couldn't you borrow it for the day?
Yeah, probably, but I'd need to borrow 2 cars or there wouldn't be enough space for all the kids. That's why I was going to rent the van. And then I'd need to find somebody else to drive, too. I can't drive 2 cars by myself.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I'm sure you can probably find a volunteer. Or if you wanted to save yourself the trouble of hunting down a second driver, well, what about public transportation? Check the bus schedule. I think there's a bus line that goes right past the zoo.
Yeah, that's a possibility, but I don't know. It might be a real challenge supervising the kids on the bus. Sometimes they're a handful when they get excited. It's an option, though.
Okay. Hang on. Okay, Faisal, here's the official question.
The speakers discuss 2 possible solutions to the woman's problem. Briefly summarize the problem, then state which solution you recommend and explain why.
Okay. It very specifically asks you to summarize the problem.
Pardon, can you repeat the lecture because I can't hear clearly because it's low. Sorry.
The whole thing? Okay. Okay.
At the first.
Well, that would be the whole thing. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Can I try before going through the lecture again?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, well.
Well, this is a conversation about 2 friends. They are discussing about going to a field trip, but the problem that the woman has is that he couldn't get a rental. The man suggests that maybe she can borrow a car or 2 and have a volunteer to drive the other car to take kids to where they have to go. The second solution is taking public transportation. I think that it would be a good idea to take public transportation and have a volunteer to supervise the children while they are going on the trip.
Okay. A little more about why would be good. You know, you did that very quickly. You did that in like 30 seconds.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I could go a little
fast.
more. Well, it was yeah, it was super summarized.
Yes, you did. So until you in the real test, of course, you would actually see what you would see is you see a bar, like a green bar, and the green bar goes down, so you know when you only have seconds left, and below that it actually tells you the time, so you know exactly how much time you have left. So you would absolutely know. Oh my, I have 30 seconds left. The thing lacking, okay, your speaking was very good, although you go on a field trip, not to a field trip.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
I didn't support my reason. I mean, I get my reason, but I didn't support it.
Right, which the question specifically asks you to do.
Ask for it, yeah.
Give your reason and say why you support. So yes, you've got a chunk missing. So even though you were perfect up to that point, you stopped with 25 seconds left, and you didn't complete the question. Okay, absolutely. Okay. Should I do that again, or should I just get another one? That was all right. You gave the reasons already. Okay, Michael, are you there? No. Something's happened to Michael. I'm worried. Okay. Faisal,
Yeah.
you want to try a different one?
Uh,
I
uh,
have many.
okay, I try it.
Okay, why not? Okay, hang on, just half a second.
To
All
be
right.
honest, it was a little bit difficult to understand the last one. I mean, it was loud, but it wasn't clear.
Okay, let me see what I can do about that. Okay. Okay.
A conversation between a student and her geology professor.
Mary, I'm so glad I ran into you.
Oh, hello, Professor Jensen.
Listen, I know it's short notice, and maybe you've already made plans for spring break, but one of my students just dropped out of the field trip to the Smithson River Caves. You're next on the waiting list, so now there's room for you to come along.
You're kidding. I didn't think there was a chance. And, well, it's a 3-day trip, right? I agreed to spend next week helping Professor Clark set up the new museum exhibition. I think she's really counting on me.
Yeah, 3 days. But you know, if you'd rather come on the field trip, why not speak with her and see if she has anyone to replace you?
Yeah, I'd hate to miss out on the caves. I'll definitely ask Professor Clark if there's someone else who could help her.
You know, we don't leave until Wednesday. If you still have to help out, any chance you could get the museum set up done before then?
Oh, yeah, not until Wednesday. So then, yeah, maybe that's possible too.
The speakers discuss two possible solutions to the woman's problem. Describe the problem and the two solutions. Then explain what you think the woman should do and why.
Wow.
Wow. Did you hear that?
Not clear.
Not clear. Okay. All right. Not sure what I can do about that. Joseph, did you hear it okay?
Sorry, teacher.
Okay. Trang.
Actually, for last question, I forget to take note.
Oh, you forgot to make notes?
So I just remember very little. Very little. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to make notes. Michael? No. Great. Okay, fine. I'll take the test myself. Okay. Fine, I'll answer this question. Fine. Okay. The woman has an offer to go on a field trip to some caves, which she was looking forward to. At the last moment, there was an opportunity to join this field trip, which lasts 3 days. Unfortunately, the woman had made a prior commitment to another professor to set up a display. The professor going on the field trip suggests that perhaps she could have someone substitute for her and set up the display in her place. She is hesitant to do that, so he provides a second solution in which maybe she could get it done a lot faster and ahead of time, and then go on the field trip to the caves. I think she should just do it faster. What difference does it make when she sets up the display? It's a display. A display just sits there. It's not moving. There's no moving parts. So how could it possibly make any difference if she gets a key, sets up the display in the middle of the night, packs her bags, and gets on the bus and goes to the caves in the morning? Done. That's
Great
it.
job.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I would be so sarcastic doing this test. I don't know how they would score me, because I sometimes these, frankly, to be honest, these people with their problem and their solution are often so stupid. I would tend to answer the question like the last one. You know, I would say, you know, I have no idea why this man is suggesting that she find somebody to volunteer to help her. What kind of an unfeeling pig is he? Why doesn't he just volunteer to help her? Is he an idiot? I'm not sure. It seems quite obvious to me that if he just said, I will go with you, then the problem would be solved. I would be so obnoxious answering these questions. Yeah, but anyway, that's just me. Okay. All right, let's try question 6. All right, I don't know what I can do to make this. It was working before, so I guess I can try to cut down. I'll shut off my air conditioner. I'll cut down any additional noise. I'll do what I
Well,
can.
that last one was very audible. Yeah, it was okay for me.
Okay. All right. Who is going to be ready for this one? All right. This is a lecture. This is going to be hard. You need to make notes. All right. Joseph, you want to try it? Faisal? Who
No,
wants
no,
it?
no, 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 no.
No, 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 no.
all,
What? Ready?
all, it is for me, the question.
Sure. New one. Ready? It's a lecture. Try and make notes. Back us up. We need backup. Send backup. Okay. Let's try this. Okay, hang on. Let me see if I can make another adjustment. No, that's as high as it'll go. Okay. All right. Let's see how this goes.
Using points and examples from the talk, explain the 2 definitions of money presented by the professor.
Okay. Whoops, I did the questions first. My bad.
Now listen to part of a talk in an economics class.
So, let's talk about money. What is money? Well, typically people think of coins and paper bills as money, but that's using a somewhat narrow definition of the term. A broad definition is this: money is anything that people can use to make purchases with. Since many things can be used to make purchases, money can have many different forms. Certainly, coins and bills are one form of money. People exchange goods and services for coins or paper bills, and they use this money, these bills, to obtain other goods and services. For example, you might give a taxi driver $5 to purchase a ride in his taxi, and he in turn gives the $5 to a farmer to buy some vegetables. But as I said, coins and bills aren't the only form of money under this broad definition. Some societies make use of a barter system. Basically, in a barter system, people exchange goods and services directly for other goods and services. The taxi driver, for example, might give a ride to a farmer in exchange for some vegetables. Since the vegetables are used to pay for a service, by our broad definition, the vegetables are used in barter as a form of money. Now, as I mentioned, there's also a second, a narrower definition of money. In the United States, only coins and bills are legal tender, meaning that by law, a seller must accept them as payment. The taxi driver must accept coins or bills as payment for a taxi ride, okay? But in the U.S., the taxi driver is not required to accept vegetables in exchange for a ride. So, a narrower definition of money might be whatever is legal tender in a society, whatever has payment.
Okay.
Something happened.
And the question, wait.
Using examples from the talk, explain the 2 definitions of money presented by the professor.
Okay, money, money, money. Okay, Joseph. Could you hear it okay?
At the end, I couldn't hear very well.
Okay.
But I'm gonna try something.
Give it a shot. Yeah.
The professor is talking about the definition of money. He says, she says that money is not only like every people see to purchase or use it. Or money coins. It is also something that you can exchange to obtain for example, he gave an example about taxi driver who exchanged his service for some vegetables from a farm. He also said that this is not allowed in the U.S. It is not acceptable in the U.S. To give vegetables for a service. I, at the end,
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. Okay. Again, the important point is to get the 2 points. Okay. A little hesitant. Again, use the formula. Reason or point, depending if it's a reason. Maybe it's a reason. Maybe it's a solution. Maybe it's a point, depending on which question we're talking about. Reason, point, or solution. 1. Detail. The detail could be an example, for example, the taxi driver example, or further detail, or maybe it's the logic behind the solution, whatever it is. The reason, detail. That's the format you have to be using. Okay, so you can stay focused and stay fluent as you speak about it. I'm going to if you know that's what you're going to do before you ever take the test, okay, then you're going to be able to be much more fluent because you know the organization structure you're using. Okay, so your fluency was off. You got the first reason. Okay, they're defining money. So use that. The first, okay, your beginning was correct. The lecturer speaks about 2 definitions of money, right? In her first definition, now sometimes your one sentence didn't logically fit the next sentence when you're speaking, Joseph. That's because you weren't focusing on organizational, an actual, you might even use an actual, what do you call that when you have like, when you're writing a resume and you download a Microsoft, it's already there. You just fill in the words, but the structure is already there. What is that called? My brain.
Format.
Format, or there's another word. Anyway, okay. Say format. That format has to be already in your brain, so you know exactly what you're just shoving information into the format, basically. Okay, so a little unstructured, and yeah, you have to have the 2 reasons. Trang, template? Thank you, Trang. Template. Thank you. That's exactly the word. Yes, in fact, you should basically have a template in your brain when you take this test. And all you're going to do is insert information into your mental template. That's it. You don't have to worry about being creative or intriguing or interesting. You just have to worry about giving TOEFL exactly what they want. And what they want you to speak in a template. They really do. Introduction, reason, detail, conclusion. You're done. And that's what they want. Trang, do you want to try this?
Yes.
Did you make notes? You want to try this one?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
According to the lecturer gives two definitions of money. First, the narrow definition. It is money is a kind of paper print as our normal thought about this. And secondly, he gives us a broad definition of money, in which money is anything we can use to purchase goods and service. And she gives us the example to demonstrate the broad definition of money. For example, if you pay $5 for a taxi, and then the taxi driver use $5 to buy vegetable, then $5 is a kind of money. However, they can exchange goods and service directly. For example, you can bring your vegetable to give the taxi driver to have to use his service. It is also another kind of money under the broad definition. However, the lecturer asserts that in US only paper bin is a legal kind of money.
Okay.
Actually, I could not hear the end of the lecture.
Okay. You and Joseph. All right. Legal tender is probably the word both of you guys missed. Sorry about that. Okay, it's not legal tender. It's definitely a key word. Okay, you got the ideas. Yeah, but a key word is talking about legal tender. Trang, when you're talking about, okay, the lecturer said you use present tense. She give us an example. It should be past tense. She gave us an example of a taxi driver, blah, blah, blah. All right. She gave an example, past tense. Okay. I guess you could say she gives an example of a taxi driver who... okay, you could do it either way, but at least it should, if you use she give, it should be she gives. Okay. She gives an example, right. Okay. Trang, one more thing. Just pronunciation, can you say $5?
$5.
Okay, that's much better. When I ask you to pronounce something, you pronounce it great. When you're concentrating on pronouncing it, but when you're just free flow speaking, sometimes it's hard to understand. Okay. Yeah. Oh well. Pronunciation. Keep working on that, Trang, and the last sounds in sentences. I just have to spend a long day. I have to share this with you. I live in the Philippines now, and they have one of these stupid shows where they film real people, but they play tricks on them. And this whole concept of this lecture, they did this on one of these silly comedy shows. People got in a jeepney. A jeepney, you sit facing each other. Okay, it's kind of like a bus, but instead of sitting like you do in a bus and the people are facing forward, everybody sits facing each other. So you can see everybody on the jeepney when you sit there, and they're very cheap and they're public transportation. So they were filming this show, and the people would get on the bus and they would hand vegetables. You pay by handing it to other customers, and they hand your money to the jeepney driver. That's how you normally pay. and you say buy it, and you give your money, and you hand the money. They hand you back change if you have any. So people were handing vegetables. It's very funny. Other people didn't know. They had like 12 beans. Buy it, Paul, and then they'd hand back 3 beans for change. One
That's
guy gets
crazy.
on, and he has a chicken. He said, buy it, Paul. It was very funny, and the people are just like, okay, and they just go along with it. They handed the chicken to the driver, and he gives back 3 eggs for change. It was funny. I have to admit, I was laughing very hard. Okay. Any case, all right. These questions, Trang, you hit it. You're exactly correct. The difficult part is listening and taking notes. In the questions 3 and 4, the reading barely matters. In fact, when I work with students and one-on-one, I don't even do the reading. I listen to the audio file with them, and then I have them answer the question. And if they do a good job, I can figure out exactly what the reading was. If they do a good job. Actually, you can try this in practicing. If you do a good enough job, I don't even have to listen to the audio. I would know exactly what you're talking about, because question 6, actually questions 3, 4, 5, and 6, all integrated questions. You're reporting what you heard. You're summarizing. So if you can summarize it to somebody and they say, oh, okay, they understand everything you said, that means that you've done a great job, and you would probably get a score 4, the highest possible score. They would not even need a point of reference to understand you and what was going on with the conversation or the lecture. And actually, that's very true. If I can't understand what was going on by listening to you, there's no way you're getting a 4. That is basically another way to think about the scoring, okay, in these integrated questions. You can try that. Again, I think I said this in the first class. Watch a news report and go tell your mother exactly what you heard. If she doesn't in English, or tell an English speaker, you know, exactly what you heard. If they don't understand what the news report was about, you need to do a lot more practice. That's basically it. Summarizing information you only heard once and then reporting it. So you can practice this anytime with anything. Listen to your friends at school and then report to somebody else what they said. Okay. Any last questions? We are drawing to a close of the TOEFL speaking practice.
When are you gonna do another class like this?
Never again. This was far too traumatic for me. I don't know, buddy. When would you like me to? What do you want to work on?
I'm gonna be prepared for the other time.
Okay, what are you preparing for? IELTS or TOEFL?
TOEFL.
All right. And do you want to also work on reading, writing, listening?
Speaking mostly.
Mostly speaking?
Yeah.
Okay. After class, actually, later, I have to do my scheduling for verbaling for the week. So yeah. I'll keep that in mind. Okay. I'll see what I can do. All right, Joseph. I'll see if I can help you out. Any other special requests before I go?
Me, please. IELTS
yes,
class. How about IELTS class?
IELTS? Okay. Is there anything special in IELTS you want to do? Reading, writing, speaking, snorkeling, hang gliding, I don't know.
Reading, please. I have a problem in the reading.
Yes, that's because the IELTS questions are tricky.
Yeah, you're
I know.
right.
I'm well aware. Okay. All right. You guys, Julio, great job. You guys, you know, if you don't be discouraged, you have to make mistakes so you know what you need to improve.
Mm.
But you guys, good job. Thank you for staying in there and staying with it and doing your best. Trang, I think you actually improved today
Yes.
during the series. You actually impressed me. Nice job.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And I really appreciate you coming to all the classes. I appreciate all of you for doing that. And Michael, I hope you're still alive. What happened?
He's sleeping.
He is. I'm just hope he's sleeping not with his head in a bowl of soup. I hope he's okay. Okay. Thanks a lot, guys. I'll see you again
Yeah.
right here at Verbling.
Take care.
Goodbye.
Okay. Take care.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank